Big news and not very good for India. The International Olympic Committee in its board meeting has decided to drop wrestling as an Olympic sport for the 2020 Olympic Games. It's a huge blow to India's medal hopes. The decision to drop wrestling will be announced shortly at the IOC Executive Board meeting in Lausanne in Switzerland. And this comes as a very, very big blow for the country that has won 4 medals in wrestling. In fact, 2 this time at the London Olympics with Sushil Kumar and Yogeshwar Dutt. Let's take a listen to what Sushil had to say.
ये तो बहुत दुख की बात हमारे रेसलिंग नहीं होगी। रेसलिंग सबसे पुराना खेल हमारे इतिहास में, खेलों के इतिहास में। बस ये उनके लिए बहुत दुख की बात है क्योंकि इस टाइम सब बहुत जोर लगा के प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं। ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए था। जो संभव कोशिश होगी वो फेडरेशन करेगी। नहीं, अभी किसी से बात नहीं हो पाई, पर हम बैठ के बात करेंगे इसके बारे में।
Shobit also joining us with more from the news pit. We'll also speak to Boria Mazumdar in a bit on the phone. But Shobit, this was a huge, inspiration for sports people because Sushil Kumar was a role model. London Olympics, women's wrestling was included. Geeta Fogart was there. And now comes the big blow. 2020, 8 years on, we will not have wrestling as a sport. Our medal hopes dashed.
Absolutely, Anand. After 2008 in Beijing, in fact, when Sushil won the Olympic bronze, we saw a resurgence of the sport in the country. A lot of youngsters taking up the sport and trying to emulate Sushil and even Yogeshwar. Remember, India won its first Olympic medal, individual Olympic medal in wrestling in 1952, KD Jadhav getting India the medal. But the IOC taking this decision to axe wrestling, now it's confirmed actually from Lausanne, Switzerland, that the IOC has axed wrestling as a core sport for the 2020 Olympics. Now, the sports which were thought to be most at risk for the 2020 games were badminton, taekwondo, karate and the modern pentathlon. But ultimately it's wrestling which has lost out, and a huge dash to India's medal hopes in the 2020 games. Now, why the decision was taken were based on at least more than 2 or 3 dozen criteria, which included television ratings, ticket sales, anti-doping policy within the sport, and global participation and appeal of the sport. So wrestling clearly losing out to modern pentathlon, badminton, taekwondo and even karate.
And the other fact that now wrestling, the core sport of the Olympic movement, will have to fight against the likes of squash and some other sport, isn't it? Boria Mazumdar with us on the phone. Let's put this question across to him. They say it's commercial considerations, ratings and popularity of sport that's seen something like wrestling, a core sport of the Olympic movement, being shunted out, Boria.
I was there in London. I was there earlier as well. I can tell you that the wrestling arena this year was packed. It was chock-a-block. When, for example, Sushil Kumar was fighting his bout or Yogeshwar Dutt was fighting his bout, there's not a single seat left vacant in the Olympic arena. It is a big blow. And it also tells you, Anand, that we as a power, India, or for that matter, these wrestling powerhouses, whether it's Iran, whether it's the Middle East, whether it's the Russian nations, we don't have any power in the IOC. And this decision is taken by the 6-member executive board, not by the IOC general body. You must keep that in mind, that the decision to remove sports is taken by the IOC executive board, then will be ratified in Buenos Aires in September, during when Jacques Roger will have to step down. Now the question is, will 6 people or do 6 people have the right to decide whether a sport is good enough or not? Don't they have their own personal bias? For India, it's a huge blow. 2 medals this year, formerly Sushil Kumar in 2008, going forward in Rio, we have a chance of wrestling. Suddenly the sport goes out. Automatically, youngsters who will come in will not have the same incentive. That tells you it's a big, big blow for India.
Just stay with us, Boria. We'll play out what Sushil Kumar told us a short while ago.
ये तो बहुत दुख की बात हमारे रेसलिंग नहीं होगी। रेसलिंग सबसे पुराना खेल हमारे इतिहास में, खेलों के इतिहास में। बस ये उनके लिए बहुत दुख की बात है क्योंकि इस टाइम सब बहुत जोर लगा के प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं। ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए था। जो संभव कोशिश होगी वो फेडरेशन करेगी। नहीं, अभी किसी से बात नहीं हो पाई, पर हम बैठ के बात करेंगे इसके बारे में।